Hey guys, welcome to Judge Jodi, Paxton Road's Premier League Player Ratings show. Mate, I wish I could say I was happy to be here, but man, man. Breathe. Guys, I'm back this week with Sean. Sean Hotspur Hurley. What's your name today, Sean?
Just
Sean.
Just Sean, and Spurs will kill me.
Just Sean. So yeah, break down the atrociousness of what was yesterday. I want to ask you how you are, Sean, but how are you?
I'm getting better by the minute.
I'm getting worse. I think I'm getting worse.
Yeah, you work it out and you go onwards, and you realise that the sun rises tomorrow. There's another day, and you just put distance between what happened on Sunday and today or tomorrow or the day after.
Well, I've named the show Blue Monday, Tottenham's Blue Monday, because I don't know if anyone is aware, but the third Monday in January, which is today, is officially, apparently, the most depressing day of the year. So, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with a lot of people's probably feelings at the moment. I mean, you said you're feeling better. I feel like I'm feeling worse as the day goes on. The more podcasts and things I listen to, the more depressed I get. But yeah. Anyway, any overall thoughts about the match before we get into the rating, Sean? Or
I think if you only play for 25 minutes out of 90 minutes in any Premier League game, you are in trouble. Not least, in any game, against any team in the Premier League, but against a team who are as well drilled and playing as well as the current league leaders are, you're going to get what your just desserts, and that's exactly what we got. Hats off, beaten by the better team of the season. Yep. Painful, absolutely painful. I hate losing to Arsenal, but when you're outplayed, all you can do is say, well, that we got exactly what we deserved, which was nothing.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree more. I think I was saying to you just before we came on, I'm not wearing Spurs gear again until the team sort themselves out, until the club sorts themselves out, until this whole situation sorts themselves out. So probably won't be wearing any Spurs kit for probably the next few years, I'd say. It's Paxton Road all the way from my side.
I've got my pajamas on because we were sleepwalking through that game. My Tottenham pajamas.
Oh, lovely. Well, hopefully we won't put you to sleep when we go through this.
Well, the audience we won't. Hopefully we won't put to sleep. But
true. Well, with that in mind, Sean, shall we get into it? Guys, if you can please put your ratings in the chat. I know a few of you have already done that already. But as we go through, Sean and I'll talk about what you guys have to say about the guys tonight as well. I must admit, I was saying to Sean that I probably wanted to bump my scores down a little bit before we get into it. Haven't done that yet, but I think just based on the performance alone and the fact that it was a North London derby and none of them showed up, I think you look at my scores, just subtract at least one from that, just for that alone, I think. So just want to put that little caveat in there. Right, let's get into this, Sean. What are we saying? I'm going to start off with the best of the bunch. Hugo, 4. What are you saying about that 4?
Well, as I've explained on previous occasions, anything below 5 is not good enough. Not good enough. And yesterday was the day that I lost it with Hugo Lloris, and I never. It's now become a priority to replace the keeper who's been with us for so long. Been a great servant, was in his day a very good keeper, but in the modern day football, if you can't play with the ball at your feet, then you're done, and he's done.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I gave him a 3. I was going to originally give him a 2, just based on the fact that he's cost the game for us from the very beginning. There's no excuses for the mistakes that he made yesterday, and it's shown time and time again that the mistakes that he makes and the mistakes that the defense make have cost us games. You could see the guys just were rattled as soon as that ball went in. I did give him a 3 because I did think there were some nice saves. There were a couple of good saves in there. I can't deny that. The keepers are quite hard to mark because of that. The score could have been even higher if he hadn't got those in, but it didn't really matter at the end of the day. We lost. So, yeah, 2 or a 3 from my perspective. Sam, big up, Sam, Spurs for life. Thanks for being here, buddy. So a 2 from you. Yeah. Anyone else got anything to say about Lloris before we move on? Marlon.
Interesting.
Hey, Marlon. 2.
Dino has posed an interesting question there, Judge.
Do we draw? Yeah, well, welcome back, Dino Dinosaur. Thank you for being here again. You're always here. Love to see you. You know what? I've been saying all along, you can't drop Lloris for Foster, because out of the two of them, I felt that Lloris, he's the World Cup keeper. He's more, he's the obvious choice, really. And that was even after some of the mistakes that Hugo's been making. But I can't. I just think he has to be dropped for this next game. I can't do it. I mean, Foster's not the greatest either, is he? To be honest, but it's, what do you want? Do you want a keeper whose head's gone and not he's a captain as well? Was there any captaining happening yesterday from Lloris at all?
Well, he didn't lead by example.
No. And who's going to listen to the captain that makes mistakes like that? What do you think, Sean? Are you going to drop him for Man City, or is he going to come around and do a Palace phenomenal experience? Because I gave him a 9 for that game.
I don't know. I mean, he could produce a performance like he did at Old Trafford, where we should have lost 10-0 and we only lost 2-0. It's. I have a lot more confidence in Foster because he can actually use his feet. I think a lot of people gave him the blame for the first goal against Brentford, but to be honest, that was a deflection. That was really harsh. I think people were being very, very harsh. I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Lloris could turn around and not. It's the mistakes. It's the unforced errors. It's the mistakes. If he doesn't make mistakes, then he can be okay. But it's just the mistakes for me. So I don't know. Don't really know about that one, Dino. What would you do? You want to drop him for Man City? Let us know. All right, I think we need to move on though, because this is really starting to depress me, Sean. Romero, I mean, 5 and a 4.5. For me, I mean, not the worst defender on the day. I think he was, Romero does show up, doesn't he? Like, in terms of the aggression and stuff that he shows. So I think from that point, he's probably one of the only ones that was doing that from my side. He picked up a yellow because of it. I think defensively he was okay, and I don't remember any mistakes from him yesterday, but I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
Again, as I say, a 6 is the pass mark for me, so he still doesn't pass. He got a ridiculous yellow card, a totally unnecessary yellow card after 37 minutes. And that meant that he was walking a tightrope. The fact that he actually got to 90 minutes without getting that second yellow was more by luck than judgment. I'm sure that I saw one challenge which, if had been, I think the referee played the advantage. If the referee had called it back, I think he would have got that second yellow.
Yeah, that's always the worry though with Romero.
Yeah, I mean, he was, the miss comes down. Surprise, surprise! The challenge was on Martinelli. You just have to say Brazilian to him, and he just goes mad.
Yeah.
No, I just he wasn't the worst, as we say, but he wasn't. I mean,
he could have been more aggressive, I think.
The booking in their half. I mean, I could understand a booking in our half, but a booking in their half, totally unnecessary.
Yeah,
and that's why he doesn't get the pass. He doesn't get the 6 pass mark.
Yeah, agree. Marlon, you saying 6. David Clark, thank you for being here, David, as always. 2, shocking. Should have got another yellow. Yeah, well. Yeah, we don't want him to have got another yellow. I mean, can you imagine what would have happened if we had 10 men in that game? It would have been just, I don't even want to think about it. Right, let's move on. Oh, David, what are you saying? How can you say Romero made no mistakes? It was full of them. He was a worse offender. Okay. Fair point. Fair point. Right, let's move on to Eric Dier. Oh, God. 4 and a 4. Again, I probably want to bump my score down just based on the fact that these guys aren't giving any actual fight for it being a North London derby. But yeah, what are you saying, Sean, for your 4 for Eric? And then
again, not commanding. Didn't you want leadership in the centre of your defence? He didn't show it yesterday. I mean, he was all over the field at times. He was chasing attackers right into their half when it was just leaving us short. It was a poor performance. I'm sorry, a very poor performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think as always from Dier, there's some some clearances that he was making but that's kind of what he should be doing. That's his job. I think there was a nice ball up to Sess that sets on up, which I remember. But then again, just the fight. There was no fight from him, and the leadership that you typically would want to see from that back line and stuff that he normally does. It wasn't happening. And for a North London derby. And also his post-match interview as well. I was not impressed by that. He just wasn't showing any kind of, just didn't want to, just doesn't want to be at the club, really. That's what I can see from Eric.
I avoided all Spurs post-match reaction. So I've only read what Conte said, and I've only read what Dier is supposed to have said. So I can't really comment, but yeah, I mean, better things to do in my life, I'm afraid. and really, I just wanted, as soon as the final whistle, I just wanted to get the hell out of Dodge, So I even turned down a dinner with my friends because I was just
over it. Yeah, I kind of tuned out after that second goal went in, to be perfectly honest with you. All right, let's move on to Lenglet. Getting tongue twisted here. Clement Lenglet, a 5 and a 4. He was up against Saka, right? That was bad. Sorry.
I don't think he was up against Saka. That was supposed to be Sessegnon's job.
Well, both of them were.
Yeah, but to be fair, I thought Lenglet got stuck in. He was the only one of the three at the back who seemed to understand what that yesterday's match meant. And he's only on loan to us, so that was more of a damning indictment on Romero and Dier, to be fair. He was the only one who progressed the ball in the first half, carried the ball forward, which he's very good at. But again, as I say, 6. I'm looking for 6 and above. He doesn't get it. But he wasn't the worst of the 3 centre backs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the helping drive us forward, I think, was something that I noted down typically from him, which was good. But I don't think he was great defensively, to be honest. But he wasn't, like you say, he wasn't the worst of the bunch. But But yeah, I just our centre back situation is just, I say it time and time again. It's dire. It is Eric Dier. It is bad. It is just horrendous. I don't know what we're going to do about that, because they're saying potentially in the summer that's going to get moved on to January to summer. It's never going to happen. I just feel like we're not going to get these centre backs that we need, and we just critically need work in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Just over it. I'm over it, Sean. I'm so negative today. You just snap out of it. Right, let's move on. Let's move on to Matt Doherty. All right. 5 and a 4. I didn't really see much of him, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't have too much to say about Doherty. I mean, it wasn't great, so I gave him a 4. I don't think it was. I mean, obviously, it wasn't his best game. He's had far better games. I think he probably was struggling against the press as well, but he just wasn't giving it the fight that everyone else should have been giving as well. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on Doherty? Because
I thought in the 25 minutes of the 90 minutes, and where we were actually making a game of it, which is the first 10 minutes and the first 15 minutes after half time, Doherty featured quite prominently in an attacking field, and that is exactly what I want from Matt Doherty. However, again, I'm sure we'll cover it later, how he was hooked as a substitute before his compadre on the other wing is a disgrace. The fact he was replaced by Richarlison as well.
That was just insane as well. I had no idea.
That was bonkers. But anyway, no.
I missed him come on, and then all of a sudden I saw Richarlison's blonde locks on the pitch, and I said, "What is going on?"
Honestly, I mean, we'll probably talk about Conte later, but yeah. For me, he was okay, but he didn't pass mark, But then only one player I think I gave 6 for. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of 3s for Doherty. Again, like I said, I think my marks probably marked them down 1 based on the fact that no one showed up on the day. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys. Kevin, 7 for Doherty. Please explain. I'm sure you have your reasons, but I didn't see it. I missed Doherty yesterday, to be perfectly honest with you. So if you've got anything to say about that, let us know. You're auditioning for Specsavers. Yeah, talk to all of us. We want to know. Right, let's move, guys. Let's move. Who we got? Oh, God, Sess. Ugh. So that should be a 2 because of my marking down. Sean. I know you have a lot to say about this guy. Quite a lot of the time, but this is a whole nother level after yesterday, I think.
I knew the game was done at 3:30 when they announced our team.
Yeah.
Ryan Sessegnon could not get past a League One fullback in the FA Cup the previous weekend. Mm-hmm. To see him then picked to play the league leaders the following weekend, based on that shambolic performance, was an absolute beep, 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 beep. I cannot believe he was picked. I never want to see Ryan Sessegnon again. I would rather we recalled Sergio Reguilon and brought him back.
My. Don't even go there, Sean.
When I ever see Ryan Sessegnon in a Spurs shirt, that he is a dead food player. He's done. He is absolutely done in here. He's got no confidence. He's got no technique. The first 2 contributions of the game in that 10 minutes, as I say, at the beginning of the game, he was put free twice on the left with acres of grass. And his crosses were absolutely Sunday League. Sunday League. They weren't even in the professional leagues. Shocking. and he just went downhill, and his last contribution, letting the ball roll under his foot when we're trying to chase a 2-goal lead. Yeah. Absolute garbage.
Couldn't have said it any better.
The man is a memory. The man, as a footballer, he's a memory.
I'm surprised his legs have gone. 3, to be honest. Is that a minus in front of that 3?
No, he's. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ryan. Yeah. Obviously, injuries have caught up with you. They've taken away your pace.
That's the thing, isn't it?
They've taken away your confidence.
Yeah, sure.
And you've not worked on your technique.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're done out here. Bring back Reguilón.
Please don't. Please don't. Bring Udogie. David Clark, you're trying to make me laugh, I think, because I'm so depressed today. You couldn't cross the hot cross bun. Very true. Very, very true. I mean, I don't even know how to follow that, Sean. Everything you've said there is perfectly sound. I mean, when I saw him on the starting lineup, I wasn't happy, to be honest. I was not happy whatsoever. I could understand the situation just based on a couple of things. I think Sess's pace is better. I think making those runs, I don't think Perisic would have been able to make the runs that Sess was doing. But then again, what was at the end of them? There's no crossing ability there. And, Perisic is the obvious choice, the best choice at the end of the day. But I could kind of see where Conte was going, but I didn't like it. And we all saw what happened with it. And I don't know why he didn't change the situation up. Like that's something that it will baffle me for a very long time as to why he didn't change that situation up when he saw that it wasn't working. So, man. Sessegnon watches the ball at the point when he's about to cross is the sign of a poor player. You are correct in saying that. Lloyd, thanks for being with us on this very, very blue Monday. Sess was bad, but none of the team were much better. You are perfectly right in saying that. I don't think I've actually been this depressed.
I think every player was better than Ryan Sessegnon. Lloyd, I'm sorry. Every player was better than Ryan Sessegnon for Spurs, but they were all crap.
It was just bad. It was just, I can't even. The one thing I asked for when we did the preview show was that they needed to show up and do some fight. Every North London derby that we've had, I felt that the guys haven't shown up and they haven't fought for it. They haven't been playing for the badge. The one that we played in May at home when we smashed them when we got the red card. I mean, they started throwing elbows and things around in that game. But mate, this was a whole nother level. Like yesterday was just poor. It was the worst. It was the worst situation I've seen in a North London derby, I think, personally. So, all right, Sean, we're going to move on from Sessegnon because I feel like I'm going to have a bit of a heart attack. Moving on to another player who was not good at all. Fours for Pierre. It's getting worse and worse, really, with him. What's going on with him? What's going on with Pierre at the moment? I mean, obviously, the obvious thing of getting overrun in the middle, we knew that was going to happen. We knew the formation wasn't going to work for us. We knew Arsenal's midsection. We knew what was going to happen in terms of their press. But I don't know what's going on with Pierre other than the fact that obviously they were getting overrun. I don't think his passing was great yesterday. His leadership that he typically normally has wasn't there. There was no Vikingness in him yesterday. So I don't know what's going on with Pierre at the moment.
He was obviously he couldn't take responsibility, which was be required from him. All the things we said about Dier apply to Hojbjerg based on yesterday's performance. Yesterday was probably his worst performance of the season. I think certainly pre-World Cup, when you saw him in the stadium, you actually saw his contribution. But yesterday, from my seat in the stadium, he did nothing for me. He did nothing for me. He did nothing for the team. At one point, he tried to be clever and win a throw-in off of an Arsenal player. The Arsenal player just stepped back and he finished up ballooning it out into the, you know what I mean? It just, no, that summed it up. He was dreadful. Dreadful, horrible performance, as Marlon says.
Yeah, Marlon, you're absolutely spot on there. Lee, Hojbjerg, 4, no spark at all. Yes, no spark. No Hojbjerg spark. I mean, that's the thing that we, sometimes we say that Hojbjerg doesn't have the technique as such sometimes, but he does have the passion and, he's a hard worker and, all of that good stuff. But yesterday, nothing. It was just nothing from him.
Given he had to show leadership to his midfield partner, he didn't do it. He let his partner down.
Yeah, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But you're right in saying that. I don't know. David 2 gave the ball away for fun. Yeah, he did. He did. Eddie Ryan. Hi, Eddie. Welcome to the fun house today. Hojbjerg's been running around like a headless chicken. Yeah, that's true. United Spurs of America. Welcome back, my friend. Hojbjerg hasn't been right since the World Cup. And that's another point. Yeah. I mean, this guy as well, like last season before, like he plays every single game for us. And I don't know how many times we can talk about a player being tired, but you're right. He did play at the World Cup.
Why should he be tired? His team got kicked out in the group stage.
Yeah. I mean, but as well,
I think that's psychologically affected him. Denmark were expected to progress in that group, and they were dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
They
were poor.
They were rubbish. And given that he's just been voted International Player of the Year for Denmark, it doesn't speak a lot. Yeah, I've been his biggest defender because I think a lot of people don't. If you watch on TV, you don't see a lot of the things that Hojbjerg does. Week in and week out.
Yeah,
but certainly since the World Cup, he's not done that, and he deservedly gets a 4 and probably deserves a 3. But I saved that for Mr. Sessegnon.
World Cup hangover woes maybe mentally taking a toll on Pierre and Hugo. Yeah, I mean, can we not get some? I mean, surely they've got some kind of therapy sessions that are going on in this club. Maybe is that what we need? We need to amp up the therapy sessions. Something. I don't know, man. Like these guys are just so weak in terms of the mentality side. Just it's not there. And I know there's been a lot of stuff happening in terms of unfortunate events with various people passing away and all of that good stuff. That can't be taken away. But mate, like this has just been going on for far too long. There's the inconsistency in this team. It's just rubbish. It's just not right. It's not right. Tricky one. Hi, buddy. Welcome to the show. Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, give him a 5, and that's being generous. We were seriously outclassed in midfield, yeah, 1,000%. And we all knew it was going to happen. So, fans and players need therapy. Yes, I'm going to need some serious therapy after this. I think. I feel like there should be a therapy session, but I feel like I'm winding myself up even while I'm talking through these guys. All right, Sean. Let's move on to a nicer topic, shall we? Pape Matar Sarr, Daddy Sarr, what are we saying? 6 and a 5. I can understand your 6, but tell me about your 6, and then
he was the only one who earned his wages yesterday.
Yeah,
20-year-old, his debut, North London derby.
Yeah,
tried to progress the ball, was trying to deal with the fact that we were outnumbered, which is down on his coach. It's not down on him. Wasn't supported by his more senior partner. I thought he was by far our best player. And I really look forward to seeing him in the Spurs shirt in the years to come.
Yeah, me too. I did give him a 5, but I didn't give anyone a higher mark. He got the highest mark. I don't think the team deserved anything higher than a 5. David, an 8 for Sarr. Very good performance. I agree. Like, he was, as Sean said, the best player on the day. Even just the fact that I just felt, seeing him on that starting lineup. I mean, there were no other options really. But just the sheer kind of pressure as well to put the guy under, to start him, as you're saying, Sean, like 20-year-old in this game, that means so much to so many fans, and should mean so much to so many players as well. Felt like it was a lot of pressure, but he showed his own. He showed up for it, and he was the best player on the day. Like the guy kicked ass. Honestly, I'm very excited to see him as well. I think every time I've seen him, I'm just getting more and more impressed. Juice nuts. Hey, buddy. SAR 6. Felt bad he was forced to start. Yeah, agree. Lad needs to be nurtured. Well, Hojbjerg wasn't doing any of that nurturing. There was no leadership on the team yesterday. Nobody was nurturing anybody.
Which makes his performance even better. He just took it upon himself to carry the ball, to try and close down when he was outnumbered. Yeah, I mean, I just hope that this is the start of a prolonged usage. I don't understand why Bissouma was not starting in the game, but it seems he was injured. Same again with Skip.
But he hasn't been performing. Sarr's been shown more in the tiny little cameos that he's had than Bissouma has all season, in my perspective.
But how much more experience has Bissouma got in the Premier League?
Yeah, experience, but he hasn't been performing. And I'm sorry, if you're not performing, the guy who's performing and who's in better form starts, I think. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And that was my thoughts going into it, thinking how much pressure
yesterday was a game for experience.
Well, yeah, agree. But he showed everyone up, I honestly don't. Bissouma could have come on and got us a red card the way that that guy's picking up yellows. Anyway. Anyway, Sean, let us
in response to tricky one. Yes, we have done Sessegnon. You'll have to rewind.
Pape Matar Sarr, welcome to the show. Pape Matar Sarr 6 looks the part and will surely be a good player with time. Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. Yes, we have done Sess, and yes, Sean is right. You can rewind. Not giving that away for free. All right, let us move to Decky. What were your thoughts about seeing old Decky back on the starting lineup yesterday?
It was good to see him back. I think he was probably, from about 65 minutes onwards, he looked exhausted. He did a lot to try and bring us back in the second half. I love having him in the team. He seems to bring out the best in Kane. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was, it was a tough ask. Such a big game, such an important game for him to come back. Yeah. But yeah, he was okay. Yeah. Again, he doesn't get a 6 though.
United Spurs of America give him a 5. Tricky one, 6.5. Decky was rusty. Yeah, I think that was my point, Juice Nuts, as well. I think we're rushing. I don't know. Are we rushing him back? How long? We can go off what they say in the press in terms of the injuries and everything. But from my perspective, I did feel like, we're probably rushing him back for this game. Probably a bit rusty, definitely. But yeah, I think he picked it up in the second half. I think from the whole team kind of had that little spur of however long it was, 10, 15 minutes in that second half where they kind of picked it up a bit. But I think that was because Arsenal sort of had decided to pump the brakes off at that point. But yeah, I think just getting back into it from a Decky point of view after his injury, he looked good. And as you say, I think it's always good to have him in the team. And I always feel so much more confident when we have him. So Sam, you're saying he was the biggest threat. Yeah. I mean, he had 3 shots, 1 on target. So again, it's always good having Kulu up there. Lee Jennings, Kulu 5, decent, but looked undercooked due to recent injuries. Yeah. I mean, it's not the Decky that we all know and love, definitely. Not the Decky that came in all guns blazing this time last year, but he'll get back to it. Kulu 6.5, not match fit, but he's pure class. Yeah, definitely. And a 7 from Kevin. I am also looking forward to getting Bentancur back, Lloyd, and I'm sure you are.
Oh God.
Your favorite player of all time? Maybe not all time. That's going a bit too far there, I think. But your favorite player in the current squad, I think, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, without Bentancur, we're not the same team. I look forward to him returning as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because I feel much better, with him and Kulu in the team. I feel better. We're a much better team. But, yeah, those injuries have really cost us in big time this year.
Yeah, definitely missed him yesterday. 1,000% tricky one. It's a shame. It's a real shame that we didn't have him available. Okay, let us go. Who have we got next? We've got oh mate, who's this guy again? Who is this guy? Oh, Son, right. Kind of forgot what this guy's name was. Yeah, probably could have been a 2, really. First game without the mask. Not too much more to say about him, really, Sean, from my perspective. I think obviously he missed that, good shot. He had 5 shots, 1 on target. He missed that amazing shot that could have been. Went straight to the keeper. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what more I can say about Son. I don't know what anyone can say about Son. We've time and time again, every single podcast, every single week, it's the same old situation. I'm kind of speechless now. I don't really have anything to say about him, and that takes a lot for me to say because he is my favorite player, guys, or was. Yeah, really upset, really disappointed, really depressed, really. So, what do you got to say? Or nothing?
I'm trying to keep calm.
Silence.
I'm trying to keep calm because what I want to say, I shouldn't say, but he was dreadful. And he has been dreadful all season. I'm calling it now. He's been dreadful all season. He scored in 2 games. 2 games. I'm seeing a rerun of the Dele Alli story here. As soon as he gets involved in all his commercial stuff off the field, he stopped concentrating on the football. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's almost like an imposter has turned up in the number 7 this year.
Yeah, I don't recognize him. I don't recognize him at all.
I mean, when he lined up to take that free kick in the second half, I looked at his body language and you just knew this is not going to trouble them. And it crashes off the wall. The number of times he tripped over his own feet when running with the ball. Mm-hmm. He was involved in an altercation with Perisic later on. And it was all down to him that it all broke down. But he was blaming Perisic. It was just... Yeah. The man is... Honestly... Do you know what? I'm getting closer to the position that come the end of the season, we sell him.
Yeah.
Because I think he's... I don't know what's happened to him. He's been... And I'm sorry, all season, he's been dreadful.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Apart from that 10 minutes, tricky one, in the Leicester game. But, we can't... I mean, that's just... You can't even
not
really...
good enough.
Can't
it's not
celebrate
good
that.
enough. He's one of the highest paid players at the club. And he's not doing anything. He's not contributing. He's not assisting. He's not scoring.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not sonning. Son's not sonning.
He's done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think he's done. And, oh, God. I can't believe I'm saying that, given how wonderful he has been.
I know.
But to go from golden boot to pants, he's just been pants all season. I would rather play 2 up front than I don't want to see. If Son's picked on Thursday, I'm just, oh God.
I just don't know. I mean, I've always say that you can't drop Son.
What?
No. Wait a minute. I haven't finished. From a Conte perspective, he doesn't drop Harry Kane. He doesn't drop, when Kane wasn't performing last season as well, Harry Kane was still on the starting lineup. I mean, we don't have any other options. Let's face it, really.
Harry
But
Kane's
from
first appearance was from the subs bench last year.
Yeah, well, okay. But from a Conte perspective, in his mind, I don't think you can drop Heung-min Son. That's just the way that it works. I think that, yes, I think you should be dropping Son. Do what happened in the Leicester game. Don't start him. Bring him on. Maybe you can score 7 goals when he comes on. I don't know. I just don't see it happening, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the game against City, but he's not going to drop Son on Thursday night. It's just not going to happen.
Why shouldn't we give up on Son? What has he done to justify being played?
Unfortunately, I'm feeling you right now in terms of that. It's just.
I choose not to say we shouldn't give up on Son. He seems to have given up on us.
I just, at one point I thought it was formation. At one point I thought it was, something else, confidence. It was his injury. It was his mask. It was this. It was that. It was, I don't know how many excuses you can be giving a player. And maybe all of it combined.
United Spurs, you're talking history. What was he like yesterday? He wasn't a Golden Boot winner. He wasn't a Puskás goal scorer. And he certainly wasn't Asia's Player of the Year. Dreadful. Absolute dreadful. He scored in 2 games. 2 games.
It's not good enough. It's
We're halfway through the season yesterday.
Pains me to say it.
What has he done for us this season?
Yeah. Yep. I feel you.
Where is the human Son of May, of April, of March?
Right, I'm going to move on from Son because I feel like this is a very hard stream today, Sean.
You have Son and Sessegnon on the left-hand side, and you wonder why we lost that game. God, dear, oh dear.
I don't think anybody wonders why we lost that game, to be honest.
Yes, I was upset with Kane last season, but what did Kane do? He came back and scored and created.
Right, Sean, let us move to Harry Kane. Because
I'm getting picked on, so I'm going to pick back at these the United States of America, United Spurs of America. It's done.
Right, you guys can have it amongst yourselves. I'm going to move on to Harry Kane. Last but not least, Harry. I mean, I think 1 shot in the first half. Absent from my perspective, I think. Picked it up in the second along with some of the others. I think he was dropping deep more, kind of like as we've seen from him, to try and create chances. They just weren't going in. So, he was helping out there. He had 3 or 4 shots on target. They weren't going in. I really thought, with that whole Jimmy Greaves record thing, that we were going to see some pretty damn good football from Kane in yesterday's game. But it just wasn't meant to be, really. I don't know. It wasn't good. He wasn't the worst of the day, but man, for a North London derby, this guy needs to show up more, right?
He usually scores in the North London derby, but he never looked like scoring yesterday. He did a lot of hard work. He did it,
yeah.
But it was not where I wanted him to be doing the hard work, which is at the other end of the field,
business end.
Yeah. I mean, if the
rest, he lost possession, didn't he? That's true, David. Yeah. Yeah. He's overstretched, Juice Nuts. He can't play multiple positions because other players can't do their job. Yeah, that's very true. As we saw with him dropping deep again yesterday. Afraid Harry will be off in the summer. What do you think, Sean, on that one? I don't know where he's going to go personally. And I don't really know what kind of valuation we can have on him at the moment because of his age. He's still banging out the goals, so surely any club will be lucky enough to have him. But I just,
There's a deal to be done with the red side of Manchester, and that's where I
Yeah,
think he'll go. They've
yeah.
taken on Vikhorst as a stopgap,
Money's
and
not an issue,
I
though.
think they will come for Harry Kane, and unlike Man City, they'll be serious.
Mm,
They'll be serious, and
yeah, and
then
they'll pay as well, as we know.
they'll
They've got
pay the
money.
money,
Yeah.
and he may well go. And do you know what? I wouldn't blame him because
No, I don't think
United are
so.
on the rebound, are on the return, and we are in danger. In the next few weeks, our season could fall apart and we could start to spiral.
Yeah. He's the glue. You've got it spot on. He's the glue that's holding everything together. How many goals has this guy scored this season out of the amount of goals that he's scored pretty much 92% of them, I'd say. I don't know what, and it pains me to say it as well in terms of the fact that we're just relying on this guy constantly, season after season after season. It's just not good enough, and it will come. It will
We're
come
not
to a
helping
point.
him out. We're not
Yeah.
buying the players of his quality.
His career as well, he's a
Yeah.
liability. The fact that they haven't
Mm-hmm.
been able to build the squad around him and Son, really, to be fair, it's really it's such a liability in terms of their careers. I just feel like
Kane and Son are both in need to win now mode.
yeah,
They can't wait for a project. They can't wait
no,
2,
no,
3 years. They need to win now. I think Manchester United will come in the summer. He's not going to go to Bayern Munich. He's going to stay. He wants to stay in the Premier League. He'll get his record in the coming weeks at Tottenham, and he'll leave. And just as Conte is leaving as well, I don't accept that he's going to sign a new contract. That performance, well, we'll get into that, I suppose, but that performance to me spoke volumes about what's going on at Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, 1,000%, 1,000%. It's just it's a toxic mess, and it's been that way for. I don't want to go into it. There's been so many streams talking about it, and we can go into it when we get into the crime of the week, Sean. But yeah, it's not. This is probably why I'm feeling this way today. It's not going to get any better anytime soon. I don't think. You know what it was? I think Sam Spurs for life in that post-match review yesterday. I think you were the one that started my downward spiral of depression. I'm blaming you. Kane will be sold. Yeah, David. Yeah. As long as someone is going to pay the money that Levy wants for him, and as as Sean's saying, as we're saying, United have got money to burn. So. All right, guys, let's move to crime of the week. Let's just depress ourselves even more. If we're not depressed enough, let's move to crime of the week. I don't think there's any surprise what it is, and I've just looped it all into one thing, and it's the match. Blaming the match. It's the players, it's the manager, it's the board, it's the fans, and as I have here, not all fans, but some fans, and one in particular fan who disgustingly kicked Ramsdale yesterday. That is just disgraceful, and that should not ever happen. And I just don't even want to think about stuff like that happening in our club. Really, it's just despicable behaviour. But yeah, let's get into all of it, Sean. I know we've covered primarily all of it as we're going through the ratings, but what the hell is going on with our club?
What yesterday told me is that the players have now decided that Conte isn't going to be here next. Well, Conte's not going to change his system. They're not committed to the system, and Conte refusing to sign a contract, to me, tells me that he's gone in the summer.
Yeah.
Spurs may say they've got this option to extend. Conte has got enough moolah to say, well, put me on gardening leave for a year.
Yeah.
We face the prospect of the summer of having to secure a new manager and
another new manager,
or another coach, and a replacement for Harry Kane.
And potentially
the worst thing is that people are harping back to a period, a very relatively recent period, thinking that we can just bring back the man sitting in his home in Barnet, waiting for the phone call from Daniel to come back, and everything will be hunky-dory. It will be a shit show if Pochettino comes back.
No, I can't, Sean. Love the guy, love Poch, but I'm sorry, it's not time. It's not time for that. Maybe in a few years' time, maybe 10, 20 years' time, we can have Poch back, but it's not the time. It's not the time.
But I predict we will be outside of Europe. I can't see us finishing above 8th. I think Conte will be gone in the summer. Kane will be gone in the summer. Because if Conte says, you know, if he's not signing a new contract, Kane is definitely not staying around. And he's now thinking, I'm going to go to a club which is on the up. Look at what Ten Hag has done at Manchester United.
Yeah.
He's taken a basket case of a team and made them into potentially one of the only challengers to Arsenal winning the league. And I think, I have to say, I think yesterday I saw barring a major disaster, I saw the champions. And yes, Spurs fans, you're going to have to live with it. You're going to have to live with it. They have done everything right. And you know what? They're not a financially doped team. And what it will say is, what I won't be too upset if they win the league, because it will say to Levy, you've been complaining that you can't compete with the Man Cities or whatever. Arsenal haven't got the same funds as Man City. If you get the coach right, if you get the players right.
It's taken them time, though. Don't get it wrong. Like, Arsenal haven't just pulled this out overnight. What
have they done? They've taken the Pochettino 2014 to 2018 blueprint and done it right.
Yeah.
They've bombed out players who are, bad apples.
Yeah.
They've recruited sensibly. They haven't, they've gone to spend the money when they've been forced to spend the money, like for Ben White, they paid £50 million, which seemed a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's
they trusted the process, Sean.
Yes, and there is no process at Tottenham.
Well, that's
and
the
it
thing.
hasn't been in place since.
We don't have a process. Trust. We have nothing.
No, there isn't a process, and we are going to bobble along. And I can't
believe we're talking.
And it rests on Levy. In the end, it rests on Levy.
I can't believe we're sitting here talking about potentially another new manager. I can believe it. I can believe it, but in the same vein, I honestly, it pains me so much to be sitting here talking about yet again potentially having another new manager in the space of 18 months. David Clark, instead of signing Richarlison, we should have signed Ivan Toney ready for James' departure. Yeah, I mean, the Richarlison one again was weird for me. That 60 mil, that could have gone. We should have got a centre back for that. I'm sorry. We needed a centre back. We needed defence.
The trouble is, Ivan Toney's going to spend a lot of time on the sidelines soon.
There is that. There is his own crime of the week.
So that would have been a very Tottenham thing to do. Sign Toney, and then he gets called up. He gets caught for all this betting shenanigans. That would be so Tottenham.
Oh, guys, what are we going to do? Tottenham Andy, thank you for being here, my friend. It's another Leicester season two best teams for the last 5 seasons have had a wobble, unlike us. The us will probably do it. Lucky them. I mean, I can't deny the guys are playing phenomenal football. It pains me to say that as well. I really don't want to be saying that. It is what it is. Like they're playing really well.
Yeah, but it also helps when your coach is so stubborn. When he sees that your team is being overrun in midfield, he refuses to bring on an extra midfielder.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, everyone in that stadium who had, you know, has Spurs in their heart like we do, could see we were being overrun.
Yeah. Well,
And
even before the match.
what did Conte do? He stood on the touchline, his arms folded.
Yeah.
Didn't make a substitution until 67 minutes.
Yeah. Classic Conte. Classic Conte.
And when he did that, he replaced Doherty, who with Kulu was actually creating stuff, with Richarlison. Explain that to me, Antonio.
That does not make any sense.
Explain that to me, Antonio, because I cannot see the sense. We actually became worse after that substitution.
Yeah.
And Arsenal must have been pissing themselves.
And I didn't watch his post-match interview.
Oh.
Apparently, we played well or something. I don't know. We didn't play poorly, is what he's saying. I need to. Well, I actually don't think I want to watch it, to be perfectly honest with you. Lloyd Paratici is not cooking at all. He's given up his career as a chef. He's in hiding, maybe. I don't know. Where is he? Where are those nice little videos? I mean, I know he's probably wanting to stay away from the limelight with everything that's going on at the moment, but we need to know what is going on. Like, what are we? 16th of January at the moment? What is going on? Nothing is going on. That's what's going on.
And would you join Tottenham Hotspur, given what's going on in the club?
Well, that's the thing. You know, before Conte even joined as manager, it was like, who's going to take this poison chalice of a job?
Do you know who I really feel sorry for at the moment?
Managers are going to want to come.
You know who I really feel sorry for?
Me?
I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for all the Spurs fans. I feel sorry for everyone in the comments because yesterday was chastening.
I'm sorry it's been such a depressing stream today, guys. I'm normally not like this. If anyone's new here, it's normally all rosy in this place. But today, I mean, it's just...
and there's another person I feel sorry for. Destiny Udogie is ripping it up in Serie A. He's thinking he's coming to Tottenham Hotspur to be coached by Antonio Conte, who is the bee's knees in Italy. And he's going to turn up to be coached by Ryan Mason. Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
I can't, Sean. I can't even think about it. I can't even go there. I can't even go there.
Let me pose this question. Let me pose this scenario, sorry. If Arsenal beat Manchester City in the FA Cup, who's to say they won't get another double? Not financially primed, not an oil state nation team. They could win the double.
Yep.
And you know
they feel it right
and
now.
that should have people with pitchforks and torches going after Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
Because they've done everything right. And he has fiddled while Rome burns.
Yep. I can't. I don't even know what to say.
Why hire Mourinho then Conte, who demand big money signings and not give them the big money signings? The fact that Conte got us into the Champions League last year is a miracle. With the squad that he had.
Yeah. I mean, if he didn't do that, we'd probably be sitting below Liverpool right now. But he did it.
Well,
and we're going to end up back there.
Hold on. There is a silver lining. We can finish. I'll finish. My last contribution will be this. at least we're not Everton.
Oh,
At least we're not West Ham.
Oh, I know. You know what? I was listening to an Everton stream the other day, just out of interest, and the stuff that these guys were talking about sounded exactly like what we're talking about, to be honest. But yeah, you are right. At least we're not that far gone, but we could be. Get rid of Harry Kane. I don't know where we're going to be, Sean.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you get right amount of money and then you spend it wisely,
Yeah, but
you could rebuild a team. But that requires a good coach.
We have a good coach.
No, it requires a coach who can build a team.
Yeah.
Conte's all right for slotting players into his system.
Yeah, but none of our players can play that.
But he refuses to use the players he's got in a system. Look at Ten Hag. He doesn't want to play the football that Manchester United have been forced to play, but he's cut his cloth. And what has he done? He's got rid of Ronaldo. He's bombed out Harry Maguire. He's created a team that has a system that works.
But don't you think getting rid of CR7 was probably a catalyst to all of that? I feel like I think he was contributing to it.
But it was happening before that, though. They haven't just started winning.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. I don't know, Sean. Let's move on. Let's move on and talk about our lovely game that we have on Thursday. It's another full week. We've got Man City Thursday, got Fulham Monday. That's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy. We've got Preston before that, I think, in the FA Cup on Saturday, and then Man City the following.
No, we've got Man City. We've got Man City again, then Preston.
But yeah, whatever it is, it's not looking. Yeah. It's not looking good at all, is it?
No, our season could, as I say, within the next few weeks, could be.
The way that City are playing as well at the moment, it's just going to be such an embarrassment if we lose to them. And I know we will. Although Spurs could turn around and do the inconsistent thing that they do and go and smash it and beat them 4-0. That's the thing that really annoys me about this team is the inconsistency. It's just show up when they want to, show up for the big games.
Pep does have an issue with Tottenham, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He calls them that Tottenham team, doesn't he?
Well, he calls them that Harry Kane team, but
Harry Kane team. That's right.
Yeah. Sorry. He hasn't got a great record against us in terms of the teams that he faced in the Premier League. And we took 6 points off them last year.
We did. I know. That's the thing. We could go around
and how ironic it would be that if we beat Man City on Thursday, it would make it easier for Arsenal to win the title.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable.
We may as well just throw it in. I mean, it's not going to happen. They're going to win anyway, aren't they? Fulham's not going to be easy. Fulham are playing well at the moment. I don't know. It's depressing times, guys. Depressing times. David, our penalty area on Thursday will have to be relayed. City not playing well. We'll have to play in the hands of City in the first half and going in 2-0 down and a half time. I'm not excited. I don't even want to watch the game. Like I don't want to. It's dry January as well. It's just not it's not a fun time.
Thankfully, I have a prior engagements on Thursday, so I won't actually be watching them.
I'm going to join you in that.
So it's I will get all the feedback I require from Paxton Road TV later on.
Lee, thank you for the reminder about Haaland not scoring the last 4 games. My fantasy team is dire right now. I need to get rid of him because he's not helping me out whatsoever. Lloyd, Oh boy. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. It's just not fun at the moment. Sam, not at the Etihad. Man City are not their best, but at home it will be too much. A draw, I'll take now. Yeah, I think that I don't know at the moment. Anything could happen. That's the Spurs slogan. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen in the next 90 minutes, and usually will.
All right then, guys. I'm going to call this, I think. Thank you so much for everyone that we had in the stream tonight. You guys have been... I'm sorry I've been depressing you. I hope I haven't. We're in it together. David, as always. Sam, thank you for being here, mate. David Clark. Dino Dinosaur, Marlon,
United Spurs of America, my friends. I love you.
I loved it. Paddy Hartnett, Kevin Murray. Oh, you guys. Jews nuts. Oh, Jews. Jews nuts. Lloyd, my friend. Oh, mate. David Hall, you guys are the best. Thank you for cheering me up. Kuva, my sidekick on JJ sometimes. Thank you for being here, my friend. David Hall, you guys, so many of you. But yeah, it's just one of those times at the moment. I just feel like we can't have nice things. And how long have we said? Like, how many years have we been saying this? I just don't know. I just don't know.
Always remember, we're not Liverpool. We're not Liverpool at the moment. We're not Everton. We're not Manchester United, and we'll always be better than Arsenal. Always be better. Always better people follow Tottenham Hotspur.
That's right. That's right. We are a good bunch, aren't we? We're a very good bunch, and we do lift each other up. Sean, is there anything that you want to tell anybody before we wrap up today, other than what we've just been through?
No. Yeah, I will be out on Thursday night, but no doubt my WhatsApp will be buzzing away.
Might have to mute it.
And I will watch the review show when I get back in, and I won't be on it, and I won't do the preview. Just warning you, Sam. So yeah, who knows? By Thursday night, we could all be smiling because we've beaten Manchester City and we stopped Holland for the 5th game running. Who knows? It's the hope that kills, as they say.
The hope that
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Thank you guys so much. Yes, thank you, Lloyd. Guys, please, if you could hit that like button, subscribe to Paxton Road if you're new. We really, really appreciate you guys so much, and all of the banter. It really cheers me up, because you guys have got to get me through this, because I can't do this on my own, and I can't do this with just this guy, because hey. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Hopefully we win. Maybe we don't want to win on Thursday now, but I don't know what we want. I really don't know what we want, guys. But whatever it is, let's hope the future's bright for Tottenham Hotspur.
I always want Spurs to win. I wanted them to win yesterday. I want them to win on Thursday. I don't care about other teams. I don't even care about Dan Mob down the itinerants down the other end of the Seven Sisters Road.
Let's smash them. Let's hope we smash them on Thursday. And yeah, come on, you Spurs.